Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Homestaging Talk Show Live. I'm Jenny Norris, your host. I'm also the chairwoman for the International Association of Homestaging Professionals. I want to give a shout out to all of our members around the world. Reminded this time last year, my husband and I were in Vienna for the international meeting of all the Homestaging Association leaders from throughout Europe, and I just had a picture pop up on my Facebook feed. So missing everybody that had the pleasure of being with last year, and hoping people are staying productive and hopeful during this season. And 2020 is almost over. We don't know what 2021 is going to bring, but we are all anticipating in a positive way that things will hopefully continue to improve and not go backwards. So anyhow, I got a great show for you today. We got Blair Hamaty with us. He'll be sharing about different niche services and building what we like to term a staging empire. Actually, that's his term. And he's built just a great business. So before we get started, I do have some announcements for you. So we're going to do this here. Let me put myself down here. There we go. If I can get this to play. This is about our conference. Okay, so our conference theme, of course, is SOAR, S-O-A-R, and Seek Opportunities and Rise, S-O-A-R. So that's what that S-O-A-R stands for, plus the word soar. You can see the definition here. You're rising above, and when a bird is soaring, they're really like effortlessly flying. And so you put all the effort out to get up into that airstream, if you will, where they can just kind of glide and soar. And that's kind of what we want to have the mindset. And also for our businesses, you put the effort out, and then at some point, your business, hopefully, it starts self-sustaining. You have business coming in, and it's not so much effort to keep it going. And that's kind of the goal. And so it's not only a mindset strategy, it's also for business. And so we want to let our dreams take flight and also reach new heights of success. So that's our theme for 2021. And we are really excited to be able to be doing this in beautiful Denver at the Gaylord. So this is the Gaylord backside of it. Our event is the 24th, 25th, and 26th of September. So, hey, if you guys can hear me, please somebody make a comment, because I don't see anybody in here yet. So 24th, 25th, 26th of September 2021. The lazy river probably won't be open in the pool area, but it's still really beautiful. There'll be other stuff that we can do at the resort. And it is, very Colorado, very much like a big, huge lodge. This is as you first come in, you'll see the setting here. And so got lots of great things planned. You can make reservations for your hotel now. We actually have the special pricing. And by the way, if you do go to register or to get a room, and at any point somebody says it's sold out, that's not true. We have a huge block of rooms for Friday and Saturday. There's fewer rooms available on Sunday. And then we also did a block of rooms, some rooms earlier, like Wednesday, Thursday, for people who want to come in earlier. So the reservation people don't always think out of the box. And if one of those dates is sold out, then they'll tell you the entire reservation is not available, which is not true. So just let us know how we can help you with that. We're really excited to be able to bring you to HQ headquarters. And tickets are on sale now, and the priority ticket is basically like a VIP pass. Okay, so it's the first 100 people are going to have some special goodies. So not only will you get front row seating, any meet and greets we have, you'll be first in line. We will also have a special swag bag for the VIPs. You get a special reservation or registration line, so you don't have to wait in a long line. You have your own special lane. And what's going to be super fun is our awards dinner, which will be this year on Sunday evening. It's going to wrap up the conference, so it's going to be a big party, big celebration. And so our theme is the Roaring 2021. And it's a great Gatsby gala. So costumes are encouraged. They're not mandatory, but let's have some fun. And so we're going to do a VIP speakeasy for the VIPs. So the first 100 people that register, we have a speakeasy separate area in the ballroom for the awards, and we'll have some special things going on there just for you. And so those tickets are on sale now until we get our first 100, and prices will be going up December 31st as your last opportunity to save money on the conference, and then prices go up January 1st. So go to ihospconexpo.com to get your tickets for that. And we do have our advanced stager training that we are planning in Jacksonville, Florida. So that will be February 13th and 14th. And so we do have a location for that. So we're all set as long as we're allowed to meet. And of course, we'll be evaluating that as we get closer to that date. We have special speakers coming for the advanced stager training, and this is for 6-figure and above stagers. And so that's you, or you think you'll be there by that time next year, and please register, because it's a collaboration workshop setting. It's not like you sitting in an audience and being talked to, and it's not just one person being featured about their business or whatever it is. It's everybody being able to share successes, challenges, things that you're facing, and hearing what other people have done that works. And then also we do have guest speakers. And so two of the guest speakers that we're planning on bringing is Donnie Fowler down on the right and Chris Widener on the left. And if you attended our virtual conference in October, you heard from these two gentlemen, and they're very knowledgeable and wise and amazing. So Chris, of course, is a best-selling author. He's written 21 books. He has been on, worked with Zig Ziglar directly and Jim Rohn, which are very, very, well-known motivational speakers. He's known as one of the top 50 motivational speakers in the world, and that's not his ranking. That's other individual ranking for motivational speakers. And so we'll have the opportunity to see him live, not only at our conference in 2021, but also for the advanced stager training. They both have agreed to come to Jacksonville and have an intimate time with our group. And the 6-figure and above staging group is a smaller, it is restricted, space is limited. So come and learn from your colleagues and, hear from experts also to help take you to the next level. Johnny, of course, is a marketing social media guru. Is so knowledgeable about Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and so forth. So he'll be sharing with us there again, as long as we can have it live. That is our plan. Should something happen where we can't do it live, we do also do the advanced stager training after our conference is live usually. So that'll be September 27th and 28th in Denver. And so we will have a live session as well. And it's just one of these things, you can't really do it virtually. So we didn't get to do it in 2020 after our conference because it was virtual. So we are going to do it live in February as long as we can. We also have 2 ladies joining us so far for the advanced stager training. Got Joanne Leonard-Weary and Sandra Reyes, and hopefully you are familiar with these 2 wonderful women. They both have strong businesses that they run that teach color and design and decorating to people in the industry, and plus they're just excellent marketing experts and so forth. So they'll be sharing with the group on various topics that we want to learn about. So I'm excited to have them joining us. And of course, our goal is also to host the master's course the 4 days prior to the advanced stager training. So since I'm going to be traveling, I thought make a week of it. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be the master's course. So that's open to anybody in the industry. You don't have to be 6 figures or above. That's open to anybody, and you want to get to 6 figures and above. Master's course will take you to the next level. And we're working on the Friday prior to master's, having Joanne teach something on color and decorating and so forth, because that's a great niche service to carve out and to gain some confidence in that. And then, of course, she's got wonderful courses that go way in depth, the Confident Color course system program. And then she also has the 1-day decorating, and IHOS members do receive discounts or promotional incentives on those courses. Sandra Race has also done that for our members as well. So we are very pleased to be having them come with us. Let's see here. I think that is all my announcements. Let's see here. We have one thing here, the financial planning series. I thought I had that graphic. I think it might be down here. Here we go. So this has been going on since October 29th. It is actually every Thursday. So that graphic, I keep saying I'm going to update that. But anyhow, tomorrow is the session on retirement planning. And so this is complimentary for IHOS members, complimentary. Value is $500. Hey, Kat. $500 overall, and it's complimentary, meaning there's no charge to our members. And so these sessions are being offered to help us plan financially, not only to run our businesses, talk about cash flow, business setup, even should I be an S corp, an LLC, a sole proprietor, um, getting out of debt, paying that down, being able to finance things through your business, and solutions to be able to get people where they need to be. Because as an individual business owner, we don't have somebody doing 401k investments or matching IRAs and things like that, like people who work for corporations might. And so we don't have pensions like teachers and other industries, policemen, firemen, and so forth. They're set up for their retirement. As a sole proprietor, you're not, unless you set that up yourself. And you don't want to wait too long to get that in place. But the good news is, even if you're older, and you don't have anything in place, you can get something in place pretty quickly that will support you down the road. So that's really important to take a look at. And that's why we are including these series, because it's important as a business owner to be thinking, long term and even exit strategy. So those are being offered. They are being recorded. They'll continue to do these on Thursdays as long as there's interest. And you can find out more by going to the iHosp site. And then under education, you can click on the financial planning series, and then you put your information in, and then you'll be contacted to let you know when those are being done, and you get a Zoom link for the webinars. Okay, I think that is everything. So without further ado, let me bring in Mr. Blair. Hello.
Hello, here I am.
Hello.
God, I look old.
Good.
This is what happened for 2020, isn't it?
I know. I love your green glasses. Those are very cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, aren't they? So, first of all, I just want to talk about the convention for a second, because I love why you're calling it SOAR. I think we know we've all gone through this complication in 2020, whatever we want to call it. And I love the idea of being free again and flying again, because that's what we need to do. So I think, you chose an awesome term for the convention that's coming up.
Yeah, and I always like you, because the word that kept coming to me was rise, like rising above our circumstances. And so SOAR is sort of a derivative of that. But I love that, because we do want to just be freed from all the restrictions and just all the stuff that has kept us from being able to do what we need to do, and even being able to see each other, and
I agree.
Yeah.
That's what the big problem was, doing the conference over the web was one thing, but, we missed the camaraderie of each other. And, I think that's 3/4 of why we go to all these conventions. So I think we're all ready to soar again together, aren't we? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. Yep. Of course.
Yep. And hopefully by the fall, things will be, the vaccines are out and so forth. Things should be okay, because it's, it's a ways away, but I just can't wait to see everybody. So,
because that's all we can do, right?
Yes. And so, Blair, you had a topic on the 2020 virtual that was like niche services and how you develop different niche markets. And for some reason, the video didn't, it didn't quite make it, which is okay. But I know a lot of people were eager to hear what you had to share. And so kind of just share a little bit about your background for people who may not know who you are. And then let's talk about the different ways you've diversified your business base greatly, and why, and how that has impacted you, and why that was so important.
Of course. So, we started setting the space back in 2006. So is that 19, 20, 15 years ago? What is it? 15. We'll be 15 years old in 2021. When we started our staging business, that's exactly what it was. It was 100% staging business. We're in New England. Not one soul in New England knew what home staging was. So I had to go to all of these offices and try to sell them air, right? At the end of the day, that's what we were trying to sell them. I had to make them believe that, home staging was a valid business and make it work. So we certainly conquered that. It was no easy feat, but we certainly conquered that. But one of the things at the time was people, and when I took the staging course, I was told staging is going to open doors to other types of businesses that you can do. Just be open-minded about it. And you have no clue what it's going to be. So I thought, well, that's easy. And for those of you who do know me, and for those of you who don't know me, one of the things is I never said no. I felt in sales, the second you said no, you were closing any type of doors or windows that, had any type of opportunity. So we would listen to what the client's needs were and we would go for it. So the staging business began. Certainly, we were doing consultations, we were doing vacant stages, we were doing lived in homes. But then all of a sudden, we were doing decluttering services, something that we had never heard of before, or it was a service that was new to everybody, right? And, from there, we would do paint consultations. And from there, we would do interior design. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Now, it's funny because here we are, the month of December, and what we're concentrating on right now is doing holiday decorating. So as I'm sitting here talking to you, one of our stagers is at a local restaurant, bringing in all of our Christmas ornaments and decorations that we've rented, and that's become a huge business that we've done. So we've certainly diversified ourselves, and we've been doing it for the past 15 years. And of course, this year with COVID, who knew that was what was going to keep us going through, is all of the levels of diversification that we did. The retail is crazy. So, my background is retail, and my background is selling furniture. So going into the home staging business was kind of easy because I was already selling furniture and staging people's homes prior to us knowing what we were doing. And then we continued doing the staging business, clearly, but we started opening all these crazy retail stores. A good thing to be in today, I'm not so sure, but at least we're still doing it. But even with the retail stores, we diversified off of that. Our warehouse, we've turned into our clearance warehouse. It's become the biggest, hottest thing we've ever done without us knowing it was going to be so crazy. We now have this huge sign outside the street that says, stay in the space clearance outlet. We literally open at 8 a.m. in the morning because we're here at 7 getting the stagings pulled and ready to go. And we have lines of people literally daily coming through the warehouse. And that's become a whole nother thing.
Wow.
And what I know, it's like, again, we would never have thought it could happen. But there are people who are always looking for used furniture. Look, we have stuff that should go in the trash, and we'll sell a table for $5, and there's a need for a table for $5. So it's a crazy situation that's happened, and we're thrilled to death that it's happening. Let's say that for the
And that's really great too, because it's a way for you to turn over inventories you don't want anymore. You're not just taking it to the dump. Someone can repurpose it, reuse it, and I'm sure even some stagers could pick up things for their inventory that they could use. And so, what a great idea! And so, do you have because I've been to your warehouse, you probably have a section for the clearance area, because I know, like when we've done garage sales, in the past, there's always that person that tries to wander in places that they shouldn't be, and I'm like, that's not for sale.
So, all right, but what's my motto? Not to say no. So
Exactly. An
we
offer.
So we allow them to walk through the entire warehouse, because what's the difference, right? I mean, if there's a brand new sofa, of course we're going to sell them the brand new sofa. If there's a sofa that's 10 years old, we're going to sell them that. And if there's a sofa that's a day old, we'll sell them that. So we allow them. So first of all, you can come into our designated clearance outlet, which is about, I think it's about 3,000 square feet. But people are kind of funny, can we go throughout the rest of the warehouse? The answer is, of course you can. I'm going to tell a funny story, okay? So for those who have been to High Point, what is High Point? You get bags free all day long, right? And if anybody's gone to the Dovetail site or the Dovetail store, they give these gorgeous bags away that say love on them. Do you know have you ever seen them?
Yeah.
So anyhow, yesterday, a woman comes down from upstairs. I don't know where she found these, but she found all of these love bags that we had just stored up there. She also found towels. So at the end of the day, I have beautiful furniture, but she comes down with towels. Now, you can go to Home Goods for towels, but instead they're coming to Stay in the Space for towels. I sold the love bags for $20 a bag. She was thrilled to death. She spent $500 on towels, bags, and just very, very old accessories that were old to us, but new to her. And that's the crazy part about walking through the warehouses, is that they love it. They find gems that are not gems to us, but they're gems to them. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's very cool. Yeah. And I think so. That's, and the way your mind works too. It's just, taking a look at opportunities. Like you said, you never say no, but you're also thinking out of the box about how to create income, because I know with COVID, the retail stores,
Yeah.
you know, they'd be shut down. People couldn't buy. So you got even creative with that, doing stuff with the QVC style shopping and the sales and sending things out. And because you have to, it's like you have to reinvent the process when, you know, other people like, okay, I'm done. I'm folding up my tent. I'm leaving. It's like, well, that's not an option for most of us. So
No.
I think it's fabulous. And those of you that are in the New England area, how many stores you have?
Well, one has closed, but with that being said, I'm crazy. We opened up our first little gift store. So
Oh, nice.
in Plymouth, you know, as you know, our big store is in Plymouth. The waterfront of Plymouth is only one street over, but what we find are the people who shop on the waterfront never come up to the main street. So we've been toying for the past 2 years to open up our first gift store. So 1 week ago, we opened up store number, I think it's number 5. So we went from 6 to 5 back to 5, something like that. So we opened up this little 1,600 square foot store. It's been open all of 8 days, and it's been jam packed since the day we opened it. 8 days.
What do you have? What do you have in there? What do
So
you
it's
say
all
gifts?
our small stuff. So it's, you know, like right now it's completely filled with Christmas and all the gift stuff. So then what will happen is January and February will be entirely dead because there's really nobody that comes to Plymouth then. So then what we'll do is we'll empty out what we haven't sold for Christmas, and we'll just start bringing all our cool candles, kids stuff, bags, signs. I mean, and we're going to also have stuff that's only in that store only. So people will go there, and people know us. So they've been coming in. They're excited that we have another store, and I'm like, I don't know, it's crazy, but we're doing it. So we're
And I love
up.
your stores are like a treasure trove because you walk around, they got everything from furniture, lighting, fabrics, and then you can buy jewelry. I bought clothing. I love your clothing. So I was bummed that we weren't able to come out there this year because I usually am like, I'm going to get my wardrobe at Blair's. And so it's awesome. And then you also sell stuff online too.
Yeah.
And because, you know, you shipping, people can pay for shipping and they can get just about anything. So I think that's really smart. And so you started diversifying into retail how many years ago?
So the first store will be April. It'll be 11 years old. So we were into staging about 4 years, and that's when we went into the retail environment. Now, it's not for everybody. You know, I have to tell you, retail is definitely, it's very draining. It's exhausting. You know, there's definitely has its pros, but it definitely has its cons. So it isn't for everybody. But I think one of the concepts that I would strongly advise to people is to open, if they have a warehouse, you know, if they don't have just storage units, but if you have a warehouse, open it to the public. And you can do it once a month. You could do it every Saturday. You could do it 2 days a week, but open it up to the public. It really does help you purge your stuff. And it is amazing. I have something cute. I'm going to show you something today. Okay. I don't know if you can quite read this, but I'll read it for you. So I was out. Okay. It's a thank you note, and I'm going to read it to everybody. So we help everyone. And there are a level of people who really need a sofa either for free or for $20 or for $50, okay? And those people touch my hearts more than anything else. So over the weekend, we had someone who needed a dining room table, and she could not really afford the price that it was. So we kind of went to a little bit over wholesale, and she knew what we were doing. So I come back and I have these beautiful cookies, and I have this absolutely gorgeous card that says, "There's no such thing as a small kindness." And she wrote, "Dear Blair, thank you for your generous heart. I now have the beautiful table of my dreams. I can't stop looking at it. With gratitude," and her name was Susan. That changed my life. That makes me want to get up every single day and want to help people. And, you know, and like I said, these come from people who they're just in the need of something, and we've changed people's lives. And, you know, yeah, we have all our bigger clientele who buys a lot of money and stuff like that. But it's when you change someone's life like this by just selling them a piece of furniture that makes it all worthwhile. So it was just pretty cool today. So
especially this season, I was reading Catherine Swan put something on Facebook about Santa, and this like little kid that's like, you know, somebody tells the kid that Santa's not real, and the grandmother's like, "That's ridiculous. Santa is real." And what they do is they go to she gives her grandson $10 and says, "Buy something for somebody else."
Yeah.
And he thinks about this little kid in his class who, you know, is always unkempt and doesn't have a jacket, doesn't have a coat, so he spends the money to buy a jacket.
Yeah. You just froze.
this boy gets the gift, and just that feeling of being able to help somebody else. So that was the kind of thing, like, Santa
Mhm.
giving of gifts. It is alive and in the season for everybody. So being able to, that's kind of what you've done for people, is to give them a gift of something that they may not be able to get on their own, and how appreciative they are.
Yeah.
And
Always be thinking outside the box too. So like right now, what we're doing is we're reinventing our newsletter, but we're also sending out product of the day. So what we're taking is it doesn't matter. It can be something small. So it might be a holiday item that we're promoting, but it might be something big or a recliner or whatever. So every single solitary day, we're, pounding out, here's an item of the day. The regular price is, the sale price is this, give us a call. So you have to constantly be working in the business,
yeah,
and not give up. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. And try to think, and look at, okay, what works, what doesn't work, and don't be afraid to try something different, because you have to. And I'll tell you,
right.
it's cyclical. I mean, what we've done, and especially with COVID is, I mean, we were shut down. For 3 months, we did not have a company for 3 months, which was crazy. So we had to relook at it. And, Black Friday was different. Black Friday, people stayed at home. They didn't go to the stores to buy. So once again, the small stores and even the big stores, everybody was buying online. So you have to have more of a presence online, of course.
Yeah, that's really true. And depending on the week, like we went out Black Friday. I guess we went out Saturday because I didn't like going out on Friday, and it really wasn't that crowded. It wasn't like a mass zoo. Then a lot of people did their Black Friday starting the week before, starting to get people starting to sell, and then online, of course. Do you have an Amazon store? Have you thought about doing that?
Yeah, we don't have one yet. So we're almost ready to launch our new website. So again, with COVID, we had to try to figure out how do we want to be different. So we're in the midst of bringing up a whole new type of website for us, which is actually going to show you every possible piece of furniture that you can buy and every possible accessory that you can buy, and we will be able to ship it, throughout the United States. So that's our next level of what we're attempting to
Which
do.
is, and that's exciting too. Yeah, and I know, like, with some of the manufacturers, some of the furniture has been, to get things, they're back ordered, they're delayed.
Yeah.
So for staging, I've been like, I needed dining room sets, and so I found Coaster had some, but again, they have to ship, so I had to find some locally.
Right.
Um, I feel like a store like yours is not like, it's not cookie cutter like all the same. A lot of the big department stores, they'll bring in the same looking stuff. So the fact that you guys have a lot more unique items and you have access to a lot of things that are more stylish, fun. I mean, just like in the store, like, you have I'm sure you have a whole section just for wedding people,
Yeah.
little things. That's, I mean, I just love looking at everything that you guys have. And so, so you have your staging business, you do your retail, you do your design. Um, Now you have your clearance center,
Have the clearance center, right? We were ahead of the curve. We're always ahead of the curve.
builders. Yeah.
Yeah, we're always ahead of the curve, and I don't think we semi realize we're ahead of the curve. But when the stores opened back up, everybody came out to buy anything, right? So in the furniture world, they were coming here, and because we have it in stock, and because we're a staging company, we have tons of furniture. So people were literally bringing their moving truck. The day they were moving into their new home, they were backing up and they were filling the moving truck with furniture to bring it to their new house,
That's
because we
awesome.
have the ability to do it.
Yeah, I had a lady, she wanted to rent a dining table, probably for some event, and I said, it wasn't something that was going to work out for us to be able to do that. But I love the idea of, we have excess. So, especially if you want to turn your inventory, even if it's, I said, well, what if it's brand new? I get sort of stingy with like new items. I'm like, I don't want to use this one yet. But if somebody wants to pay for it, then you can replace it, get something different. Yeah.
Well, we got to the point. So, if someone wants to, like, our normal lead times for a custom sofa were 4 weeks, they're now 14 weeks. Okay, so to get furniture today is a huge problem. The shipping companies forget it. The containers coming from overseas, they have so many containers backed up, they don't even know when it's going to ship. So, all of a sudden, like, things that we were marking way down in the warehouse, we took all those tags off, because now we have a commodity. We have something that if you wanted, so it had nothing to do with the price anymore. If you wanted to buy it, you needed to buy it at that price. If you wanted to rent a new table, that's the price. No, we're not coming down, because there's nowhere else to get. You couldn't go to Home
Yeah.
and get anything. Home goods were emptied out. literally. And then with COVID, of course, they didn't want to have all the shelves, all the aisles full, but you can't buy furniture from anywhere right now. So that gives any type of stagers that has excess furniture a huge, huge, huge leeway in this type of situation right now. So it's cool. It's always
It
cool.
is very cool. Yeah, it's sort of like capitalizing on a situation that people would be like, what was me? You're like, okay, how can we turn this around to our benefit? And it's not like
Right.
being greedy and like that. It's like this is a business, and so supply and demand. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, no, it's about supply and demand, and it's not being greedy. It's the fact, customers will come in and they'll start to want to barter, and we're like, I can't replace this. Now it's,
Right.
the stager, if we bought something at Home Goods, we never wanted to sell it, right? We always wanted to hoard it. Okay, well, right now we can't replenish our stock, so it's a problem. It's going to take us quite a few months to replenish our stock. So if you want it, buy it at that price. If you don't, good luck.
Right. It's going to go into a house. Someone else will buy it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's kind of talk about business and marketing, because you're also, excellent at that too. And just, for those of you that are watching, I venture to say that Blair and Will is his partner, and the Setting the Space is probably the biggest staging company in the world.
That's what we say.
Say that? Yep.
Yeah.
And the reason, because you're so diversified. So you have, you have at any given time, during a normal year, you'd have 100 properties staged. Correct. Throughout, and you've gone down to Florida, you've gone outside of your state to stage, like basically because you don't say no, you'll go where the business is. Right. I've always been like that too. I haven't had to go to Wyoming or anything for staging yet, but you never know. No. And so just the fact that you never said no, been able to build. So what is your advice for somebody who's newer, and the fear always kind of creeps in, like, oh, should they don't want to take a risk. So right. why is that mindset of taking a risk and being able to do that? Why is that so important in our industry?
Well, because it goes back to what I said. If you say no, it's over, right? It's over. Stupid example, one of our salespeople was in a store the other day. We told them to sell all the holiday stuff at 15% off. Woman picked up a pillow. She said, can I have this at 15% off? He said no. At that point, I said, well, what happened? He said, I didn't get the sale. So I said, well, you didn't stop and think. I said, you don't have to ask our permission. Think about what you just did. If you had given them 15% off, we're already given 15% off. You put $100 in the till. What's better, $100 or no dollars, right? So that's right. Just very simple thought. Everybody is very, very fearful. If you do not take a risk, you're not going to grow. Okay. Again, if you say no to them, so listen to what your client's needs are and figure it out. Now, that doesn't mean you have to start doing, stuff that's beyond your realm or stuff that you're uncomfortable with. But at the end of the day, for them to say, can I buy the house? People are asking us almost every single staging that we do now, can I buy the staging furniture? Now, it doesn't sell like we would love it to sell, and I've come to the conclusion that they're house poor. I don't care how much money they've just spent on the house, and unfortunately, they expect us to give them the stuff for, next to nothing. But be open-minded, and it does help you replenish. But if you're closed-minded and you say no, it's all over. If you're open-minded, you can literally grow your company in a million different ways. Again, as we were growing our company, I never sat down and thought, this is what I need to do.
And
went for it, right?
Right. Well, and your warehouse is about 30,000 square feet?
No, I wish it were. It's only 15,000 square feet, but it's small.
It feels bigger. Yeah. Well, so I kind of like, the whole mindset thing of being willing to take a risk. So, I've been at this 18 years and I never had a big warehouse. So when I was in California, we had 7 different storage units, and we ran our projects from there. That was from 2002 to 2009. And then of course, I couldn't do the same thing, with the product that we had, because literally, this is back in the day, if I saw a love seat that said free on it from a garage sale, I'd go pull over, pick up that thing, get a slipcover for it.
Yeah,
put it in a house, right? And so that expectation has changed. And so being here, like a year was, so we're in, has it been a year?
Yeah.
It's been a year since I opened my warehouse. So November of last year is when we finally moved into an official warehouse. And kicking and screaming for me, because it's like, I don't want to have to run a warehouse and have to deal with the logistics. And because it's like running another company in a lot of ways, keeping track of everything, keeping things organized. But I have to say that I love it. I love having control over what I put in people's houses, being able to purchase things. And then, the build out, it's expensive, but I feel like if I hadn't done that, I would have limited our ability to grow and serve the clients the way that we need. So those of you that are looking at, you might have some soft goods. A lot of stagers start with that, and maybe you have storage units and so forth. At some point, you need to make a decision. If your goal is to continue to grow your business, take on more business, you have got to get a better space in order to be more organized. Because, working out of storage units, people will be like, well, it was like chaos. It was like a total cluster. Stuff was just thrown in. I've got pictures. I'd be so mad because this just was not loaded in
Agree with it.
carefully.
Yeah.
And so, but now you can see everything and see what you have access to. It's actually much more pleasurable to do stagings, and I can, again, as I said, I can control the look, but it's also the furniture because I pay for it. I don't have any debt on any of that stuff. It's a pure profit stream when we put it out.
So, change is inevitable in any business, right? So many, many years ago, when we started putting furniture in vacant homes, we always said, no, you cannot buy something. Like we always had someone who said, can I buy that vase? Can I buy that lamp? Can I buy the art? And our immediate reaction was absolutely not. This past Monday, I did a consultation. The whole house was filled. I don't know. The house had old furniture in it. The homeowner and the realtor were there. I'm talking about it. And the homeowner kept saying, we're going to sell our house completely furnished. So now the mindset of the homeowners has gone that I can sell my house completely furnished. Now, the realtor did say to her, she said, look, when you have new construction and there's new furniture in it, your chances are much, much higher. However, people are buying people's homes furnished. But what I'm trying to say is that if the sellers of today have the mindset that furniture can be sold, then the stagers of today have to be open-minded to sell their furniture with the property, right? Because
Yeah.
if we, again, we were ahead of the curve. We just decided to say yes to it. Well, we didn't realize that come 2020, that was kind of the norm. And again, it's not the norm, but you are hearing more and more people ask, can I buy this house furnished? Especially when people realize that you can't go to a furniture store right now and buy a sofa. I can't tell you how many people come in our stores, and that's all we hear. I have gone to every furniture store. Nobody has stock left because that's really true. And they're 3, 4, 5 months out at this point. So just be open-minded because change is going to happen. Even if you're not thinking about it, it's going to happen. And the industries constantly change.
Well, yeah. And so the neighbors who just moved in, so we moved into a house in September, took like the whole month to get in here because we had some work done. People next door did that. They bought the house furnished. They moved in with like one little truck and then they were done. I'm like, what the heck? Where's all their stuff? Because we had truck after van and we had, it was just like a disaster to get in the garage and because, the big family. And it just took us like, so long to get organized because we had all of our own stuff that we brought in. But you're right that people, and the stuff is not my taste. It was kind of, to me, it was sort of dated, but it was in good shape. And then I had a client that they wanted to sell their place furnished and it was their ugly oak, stuff from like the 70s. I'm like, nobody, I didn't say this in my thing, like nobody wants your old stuff. Right. So that's not going to be an advantage. But there might be some things in that. So they could do like a mix, have some staging items brought in, but you're right. And I think second homes, like we have friends that they bought a second home, their family did up in Silverthorne. So it's a big log, huge cabin. It's a big, it's like a huge, but it sold fully furnished because it had all the stuff that was appropriate for that property. So it's much easier for people to just be able to move in, bring their clothes, and then they're done.
If you also think about what we're doing, we're staging a person's home. So what else goes along with staging? If someone's buying a new property, what's the first thing they need to buy? They need to buy some type of window treatments, whether it's shutters, whether it's blinds, or whether it's, say, custom window treatments, right? So guess what we sell? We sell shutters. We sell everything you possibly can do on a window. We just got a phone call from someone moving down the Cape. They were looking for a certain piece of furniture. Her designer back in, I don't know where, Pennsylvania, said, I know Stay in the Space sells this type of product. The woman ended up spending $20,000 just on shutters. Okay,
Wow.
So just an order that we literally got about a week ago because we had the ability to sell shutters. All we do is we have a book. That's all we have. We have one little book that shows shutters. Okay, and that's all we need. And that's how we can get jobs like that. Interior design, decorating, whatever you want to call it. You don't have to have a license to be an interior designer or a decorator, but every single person who's moving into a new home, or they're moving into, not a new home, right? What's the first thing they need is they need help. So that's where color consulting came. So we have a color consulting business. We have a whole line item of, you can choose, like if we're going to do one color, it's $250. If you're going to do two colors, it's $500. We have a whole system as far as that goes. And then the whole interior design aspect of it, that's where we get our big ticket, so because we're buying wholesale, because we already have the retail store, now we go into the house as designers, and then the sky is the limit. I mean, we can design one room or we can fill an entire house, and it's not unusual for us to write this huge ticket of spending a ton of money, but if you aren't doing it, you're not getting it. So when we look at where does all of our income come in, it could be 20% may only be staging now. Years ago it was 100%. Then we opened store 1, store 2, store 3. So now you have the money coming in from the stores. Now we have the money coming in from the outlet. Now the outlet, like you said, our outlet stuff is 100% paid for. Not only is it paid for, but they have already paid for the staging and the rental umpteen times, right? And sometimes we can turn around and sell a sofa. We may have bought it at wholesale years and years ago for $200. We've paid for it, we've rented it out, and then we just resold it for $200. So the amount of profit there is huge.
Which is so now as we have staging, we've got the retail stores, you've got the design, you've got the outlet, you've got color, you've got windows. So on the window thing, do you guys do the measuring? Or do you send like a rep for the shutter people? Do you send a rep out to do the measuring?
So we'll go out just to do the rough measurement. Okay. So once you have the rough measurement, then you can sell them on it. And then, yes, we have an installer who will then go out and get the real measurements. They'll actually help write up the order, and then the shutters or whatever will come in, and then they'll go and do the installing. So it's become very easy. Then we have 2 workrooms. So we have 2 people who do custom drapes. We have one that does an affordable line, and we have one that does, like, the detail is amazing, but it's much more expensive. So we have that. I'm going to sit down one day and really itemize.
Look at the list.
It's insane. It's insane. That's all there is to it, because you just have to be open-minded and listen to what it is. And then at that point, it'll grow and it'll grow and it'll grow and it'll grow. And then if you're not making money on something, it doesn't matter, because you have all this other stuff to fall. Right now we're very slow for staging. We're going through a little bit of a, it's December, right? So that's fine, because the retail stores are fine, and the interior.
Your holiday decorating is like that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's hard work. Look, at the end of the day, none of this is easy. But again, just be open-minded. Go with the flow. Don't say no, right? And just let it happen, because it's
well, it's been like, I know Mary has done like Hunter Douglas. She's been a rep for them. In the fact that she did that before she did staging, if I'm not mistaken. And so I probably should have her come on and kind of talk about some of that, because I know that it's not like you're buying a Hunter Douglas blinds company. You're partnering with whatever products you want to rep. And I think, from at least from my perspective, I'm like, keep it, like you said, you've got one line or one size. You don't get too overwhelmed with it. But being able to offer that, because you're right, people need blinds, they need shutters, especially if they got the crappy, like we have a person here right now fixing shutters or the blinds because they were way too long. So when they installed them, we've got like, 10 inches of excess. It just is tacky. And then we have blinds that didn't, these Roman shades that didn't work. So they're repairing those. But you're right, because people need that for the privacy. So being able to offer that versus it's either get it from you or go someplace else. And so whatever company you're partnering with, obviously there's a profit that because you're giving them business, there's an arrangement made. And so I don't know if you want to reveal any of that, like how you set that up.
No, it's actually even easier than what you're saying. So all we had to do was buy the books. They just don't give you the samples, right? So all you have to do is call whomever, Hunter Douglas, call whatever it is. There'll be territories, so you just want to find different brands. You might not be able to sell Hunter Douglas because there could be already someone doing it. But all you're doing is buying the books. It's not even, I don't know, a couple $100 per book, depending on how many books you need. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else. And then you're buying wholesale, you're selling retail. And then your installer will tell you how much it is. You mark it up a couple $100 so you make a little bit more profit on that. And that's it. It's not difficult at all.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and it's, and you make it sound so easy, but I know some people are like, I don't know the first thing about window treatments. Well, you can do a lot of research online, or maybe it's something else that you want to, it could be the paint colors. Color consulting is so important, because it's not necessarily for people for selling, although they need that. But as you already talked about, people moving into a house and they want to paint and freshen up, and they need guidance. And so getting confident and being able to recommend colors is also important. And that's not hard to do. There's classes you can take. Joanne Leonard-Weary teaches one. You can get information on that and be able to advise your clients. And I think the biggest thing that holds people back from really diversifying, well, two things: fear and also lack of confidence.
Right. And that's fear too.
Yeah.
So follow this one. We'll go into a house that people are living in. Their kitchen is old, right? So we talk about painting the cabinets. So we have a painter that we recommend. The painter gives us something. Let's say it's a 10% kickback. Okay, so they'll pay the painter. The painter sends us a check for 10% off. They need tile, so we have a tile company that we work with. They give us 10% off. 10% back. They need wall-to-wall carpeting. We're working with a company who does that. They give us a check for 10% off. We need you get the tile, the flooring, the appliances. So we have the appliances under control. The bathrooms, there are people who go in and spray the tubs and spray the tiles. So same situation, I give a referral to someone. So all of a sudden we get all these checks for 10% off. You've done nothing. There's no fear in it, right? All you're doing is recommending all these people, and they're giving you a kickback of what it is. And that became another business with zero investment. And what did you do for your client? You made it very easy for them to do every single solitary thing. They turn around, they sell the house, they make an extra $50,000. Oh, and then we stage it. Can't forget that, right? Then we go in and we stage it, all of that. So if you look at the residual income that we get off of that one small project, it's crazy, and it's not hard. And then we do the window treatments. It's really, yeah. So it's
like
cool.
Cha-ching, yeah.
Then we get the person who sold the house. They go buy their new house. They call us up. They need the window treatments. We do that. They need the new painter to go in. We do that. They need the furniture. We do that. So it's just, it's a well-rounded business is what it is. And all of this
is really great. Yeah, and so it's about finding your resources, your trusted people to be able to refer. And the thing is, as a stager, we can get referrals because we don't fall under RESPA laws like a title company or a realtor. And so you want to set those up. I know even landscaping, like you could refer a landscaper person, and then, like painter person, like I remember in the past was like we referred one of our painter people, like, so instead of getting the 10%, we're like, come paint a room in my house or something. You can barter and trade. You always want to establish that stuff up front and get it in writing so everything's really clear as far as what the terms are. But think about all the properties that we go into and all the clients that we deal with. These people would never have really had the opportunity to work with because we're referring them. So, you're helping grow their business.
Yep. No, I agree with that. You're helping the homeowner. At the end of the day, that's what they want you to do. But look at what the real estate companies are now doing. They're all becoming inclusive of, I can help you find the carpenter. I can help you find that. Well, why doesn't the staging company do it first and take the realtor out of it? And that's what we've done.
Well, especially since we want to be the ones doing the recommending and the specifying, not necessarily the realtor, because they may not have. Yeah, I don't want to hear back in the day it was always like builder beige or realtor. What was it called? Navajo white wasn't standard, but it was just like this. They would always recommend the same carpet, the same paint color. That's all it was like. They didn't want to be too risky, but they didn't, they weren't getting out of the box. And so I don't want to get to the point where it's like that's all these cookie cutter houses look like, because the realtors that's not their area of expertise. So when you're talking, so I guess the moral of that story is when we're talking to our realtor clients, asking them, letting them know that, hey, I can be a full service resource if for your clients they need different things. I have people that are vetted, I trust, that we can bring in, and they will do excellent work. And just take that off the plate. There's one less thing they'd have to coordinate.
Of course. It's cool. It's fun. It works. At the end of the day, it works.
So we're talking, so it's obviously holiday time. So what are some of your special promos for your staging business side? Is there anything special that you're doing or sending out to clients this time of year to not only say express appreciation, but also to get business.
Yeah, so we're sending out gift cards. So the stores have gift cards. So we'll send out gift cards, number one, for them to come into the store. And then number two, $100 off of, a consultation, or $200 off of a vacant staging. So we're constantly sending stuff out like that. Really, we do it all year round. But right now we kind of pop it a little bit more because, again, it's definitely slower. And here's always the hard part. When you're jammed, you find a way to do it. When you're slower, you almost get lazy. So you have to realize, like, now is the time that's more important. Take your downtime and do as much marketing as you possibly can. That's why we're getting the website up. I love the magazine you did that you did the other day. We're kind of working on that as well. So we're trying to, come up with a magazine. We're also trying to come up with a specific magazine for setting the space, and and have certain furniture, almost like Serena and Lily and everything else, because we want setting the space to be a home name, which here in Massachusetts, we have obtained that, which is kind of crazy. So we're trying to run with that. So we're trying to think out of the box of what else do we need to do to just keep getting our name out there, and to also change, because that's the big thing is, this whole thing with trying to sell stuff online, we're dealing with that more. We now text. I'll get phone calls. We have a big, huge banner outside that says, call us to pre-order. I just literally get texts all day long from people. I want to order this, or I'll get it for stagings now. I'll just get it, because that's how people have changed. It was emails. Now it's all about the text. They don't even talk to you on the phone half the time anymore. So we've kind of done that as well. So, it's cool.
You have to constantly be reinventing yourself from a marketing standpoint and from a business standpoint to stay viable, because who knew starting last year we were, anticipating a 2020, it's a new decade, we're so excited. And then obviously everything changed like in March for most of us with COVID when it hit, and it just, the new normal. And I'm hoping this isn't going to stay, but I do feel like some of the things like that we had to do from the education side with staged homes, the virtual classes, I'm going to keep those. Those have, even when facilities open up again, that has proven to be a really effective way to deliver classes in a mode that's not like a boring PowerPoint, someone just going through. It's actually interactive with the educator. And so, taking a look at if people are staying home more, the remodeling side and the renovation, and people wanting to fix up their places because they're staring at their dated houses, that I've heard that the trades, a lot of those, that their businesses are just booming because of people having to be more housebound. And then you think about even like the workspaces. We have a lot of commercial buildings right now that are vacant. People are, people pulled out in San Francisco. A lot of the big people pulled out, and so you have available space. And I was thinking like they need to do like colo workspaces for people who don't want to go to a big office. So I just think like the whole world, it's going to kind of change as far as how work is done. And so that's going to impact how we do our business as well.
100%. Oh, I agree. 100%. Yeah.
So what do you
change?
Yeah, I know. So, so what are your plans for holiday time and then cycling into 2021? What's coming on the horizon for Will and Blair and the puppies?
It's a good question. So, like I said, we opened our first gift store. So that's just, it's just a different, I know what I can tell you we're doing. We're doing our first setting a space Airbnb.
Oh.
So we're going to have, So there's a reason why we actually opened this little gift store. So in downtown Plymouth, there's this really cool building that is going to have a rooftop restaurant. Then the floor underneath that are these $1 million condos right on the water. And then the floor after that are 18 units that are Airbnbs. And we're in the midst of furnishing all of the Airbnbs. So we bought one of the condos. We're going to be calling it the Setting the Space Airbnb. And then the furniture and all the cool accessories. So the lighting, there's going to be custom blankets in there. There's going to be all kinds of stuff will be sold in the little store that we just opened on the lower level. So people will be able to go to the Airbnb, see, even the mattresses. You know how you go to a hotel and you want to buy the mattress? Well, the mattresses will have a private label that will say Setting the Space, and then we'll have one of them in the store. So people can buy the mattresses, they can buy the bedding, they can buy the lamps, they can buy the artwork, they can buy all the accessories.
Everything.
Yeah, so that's our
Thinker. You're just a thinker.
it's so crazy, isn't it? Maybe we'll start a string of setting the space Airbnbs. You know, Restoration Hardware has a couple of RH hotels, so we kind of like that, but we can't quite do that. But we're definitely going to do some Airbnbs, which is going to be.
So are you going to stay in your New England area? Do you see yourself venturing into other markets? Well, I know you guys are in South Florida, so do you see yourself doing anything down there with that, or?
Look at every day, every single solitary day, I think of something. You know, how can we franchise? You know, our name has definitely become a huge name in the staging industry. So what can we do to, you know, to continue that going? I would love to franchise with people. You know, the consulting part of our business, clearly that has stopped, you know, because we're not traveling anymore. But, you know, I'd love to continue the consulting part of the business. I want to write a book, you know, that's kind of in the, you know, semi works, not quite this year, but maybe, you know, in the
Never
next
Say No by Blair Hamaty.
Yeah, never say no. I think that might be the title. So I do have a lot, you know, it's one minute I think no, you know, and the next minute I'm like, no, I get up in the morning and these ideas keep coming to me and I just want to keep it flying. You know, even the whole staging furniture. So with stagers that don't really want to buy wholesale, you know, because there's a lot of people, we talk about going to buy wholesale, but there's a lot of stagers that really, they do have the fear and intimidation. So we want to come up with kind of a little line of staging furniture that people could literally, or, you know, staging in a box or something to that effect. So we'll add that to our little repertoire with our new website as well.
And I think that's because we've actually asked some of the vendors, like, curate a collection, because when I go, you know, you go to market, it's overwhelming. It's really exciting, but there's so much, and it's, you know, you're like, where do I start? And then you get their catalogs, and it's like, you know, this thick, and you got all those little SKU numbers. I'm like, I'm not going to go through this whole stupid thing. I just want, look, this is what I really want, and I'd love to have packages put together from some of these companies
They
to help
won't
it
do
make
it.
it easier. No, they're like, oh, that's a great idea, and then that doesn't happen, and so. Either we have to put the packages together, and it's also making sure that the product. Yeah, you do it because I don't have time, Blair. I think that's a wonderful idea, and that can ship anywhere. That's not limited geographically. It's like the whole thing to me is just about the availability of the inventory. Because there's been times like I've gone to a particular site, I'm like, I really like this, whatever it is, and then that's out of stock, or you can't get it, or we discontinued that. And I had stuff show up that I don't think I paid for from one vendor. I'm like, none of this stuff was available, so I thought, okay, and all of a sudden stuff shows up at the warehouse. I'm like, I don't think I paid for this stuff, so I have to contact him and say, can you please, let's kind of go through, because you know.
We've had that happen, trust me.
Yeah. Well,
so those are
you going to be at market in Vegas in January? Are you thinking of going? I think I'm going to go.
You are? Yeah. I know.
Well, I mean, we have to.
We don't want to get sick, you know. I mean, we're still in a funny little time, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, and the reason I would go is more for the conference side, to meet with vendors.
Right.
That piece of it's super important, because we have Vegas, then you have High Point in spring, and then you got Vegas again in the summer, and then that's our last opportunity to market to the vendors and be able to talk about our new program that we're rolling out for the conference. And so I feel like we got to do some FaceTime, but of course we do want to be safe. And I don't know what market's going to look like for with these companies.
Mm-hmm. No, it's going to be hard. So it's, you know, that's one thing we've learned to do is our reps FaceTime us all the time now, and it's become kind of cool. So we don't have to do all the legwork. We can sit in front of the computer and place all of our orders. You know, change, this is what's happened, right? They say 3 months. If you do something for 3 months, that literally constitutes your change, and then to go back to it. So we've been spoiled with, you know, the whole idea of going to High Point is the camaraderie when we go meet everybody, and we have, you know, and we can't do that, right? But we have to continue ordering. So we've already started ordering for the spring. In one sense, it's a pain in the neck, and it's extremely time consuming. But at the other sense, I can sit here in my sweatpants and not worry about getting dressed up and going to market and doing it. So
right, and walking 5 miles a day.
Yeah, exactly. So, change is what it is all about.
Yeah, but and being able to shift and adjust to the change, because if people are like, and these merchants have all had to do that too. change the way that they do business, because if it was always just, oh, they have to come to us in order to, they go out of business. So they also have had to shift how they deliver their services too. So interesting times. And so I'm hoping 2021 is a better year.
It
You
will
know,
be. It will be. I mean, you
yep,
have to think that. And look, we got through 2020. If we can get through this, we can get through anything. So
absolutely.
we're going to soar into 2021.
Or
Yeah, absolutely.
boring.
Absolutely.
I love you, and
I
thank you
love
for
you
being
too.
on. And I hopefully we'll be able to talk before the Christmas time. But you know that I'm thinking about you both and miss you. And I want to come to Plymouth. I just love that town. I love where you guys live. It's such a great place. And so we'll plan education, something there to get us there
Good.
when we
Good.
can. So know that we're thinking
All
about
right.
you. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks Blair for being on.
Of course.
Everybody have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye.